Hello, fellow humans. Chris here again. So, today I just thought I would clarify a couple things from my last video. It looked like I might have thrown some people off with my sort of not so subtle, too subtle title on the Texas law. I think that some of that is a biased perspective, a self-biased perspective, because I know myself, and also if you've watched my channel from the beginning, you would probably know by seeing that title that I was being satirical. Having said that, I need to be cognizant of the fact that not everybody has seen all my videos, and a lot of people have kind of joined up subscribing just recently, so need to be aware of that. I got a good suggestion from somebody about doing an upside down George, like what Bo the Fifth Column does. I actually was I was thinking about doing a couple different random backgrounds to kind of indicate the sarcasm of it. One was like this. Then I was thinking, I don't know if that might be too distracting. I don't know if people will get it. I don't know. So I'll try to think of something. And meanwhile, if anybody has any ideas for Easter eggs that I can throw in to indicate the satire, I do like using sarcasm sometimes to get a point across. So I'll work on that and maybe adjust the title. I definitely don't want to lose any subscribers for my sarcasm, thinking that I'm being literal. Having said that, I just thought that maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to just share in a more general sense some of my views on just worldly topics, because usually when I talk about things on my channel, I mean my views will be kind of implicit in the position I take on a particular issue or just how I explain it. But I did thought it probably wouldn't hurt to just kind of talk in a more general sense about certain issues. So I won't go over all of them in this video. I'll probably release individual videos where I talk about a particular view. So for today, figured it's appropriate with the new law and respecting to my last video, talking about my views on abortion, on choice, life, all that. So my views on that are that mind your goddamn business. That's pretty much it. I don't even really look at it as pro-abortion. It's pro none of your goddamn business, really. I mean, that's kind of, in a nutshell, that's the short answer and explanation of it. Reasons for it. My views on abortion have always been, I've always been pro-choice. I've always been, it's the business of the mother and nobody else. After having kids myself, and particularly after my first child, which for those that don't know, we lost our first child, 38 weeks. So she was full term and died just before she was born. So my views on abortion have, I don't want to say evolved necessarily, but taken on deeper meaning and understanding for me personally. Specifically, when you talk about third trimester abortions, this is a case that this is a subset of abortion that people on the right love to use. They love to take examples of late-term abortions, throw pictures at you. It's horrible, really. It's awful, evil what some of these people do to try to hurt the cause, hurt the choice, the bodily autonomy. When people have to make that terrible choice, typically there's a reason for it. It's not something that they're happy to do. And where I became more cognizant of that was developmentally, our daughter that we lost was a few weeks back from where she was time-wise. So chronologically, she was 38 weeks, but developmentally, they said she was about 35. And what they said was that she probably was, something happened that affected her getting the nourishment she needed at that point. And so she wasn't developing from that point on. So had we discovered the problem sooner and been able to deliver her while she was still alive, it's likely that she would have had developmental disabilities. Now, that's not to say that means I'm glad that we lost her. It's just to say that there's there's more that goes into these situations. Now, as much as a tragedy and how it lives in our hearts even to this day. I mean, our daughter is still a part of a very important part of our family and our story. We were blessed in the sense that we didn't have to make any choices. It was already a done deal. I can't even imagine the agony that couples and mothers would have to face in that situation, but I can kind of get it, at least grasp it a little bit, because of the devastation that we felt with our child. And just thinking about being in that situation where you're told your child is going to be this, or as the mother, you have a 60% chance of this happening to you. And I do know people through the Sharing Parents community that we went with our grief support, that I know people that their loss stories involve knowing further ahead of time and sometimes having to make choices. So when I talk about being pro-choice, it's not just a 6 weeks, can you tell the heartbeat yet? It's those really, really tough choices that you'll be thinking about for the rest of your life either way, whatever that choice is. And it's not for anybody else to know about, if you don't want them to know about, to judge. Really, it's nobody else's business. And if you let people in, and they're people that you love and trust, their responsibility is only to support you emotionally in any way that they can, as a friend, as someone who cares. That's all that is. And then as to the issue of bodily autonomy, again, nobody else's business. I will say that I believe that it's your body. Nobody has the right to tell you what you can do with your body. And I want to say that I am consistent in that I also don't believe that the government should have the right to force a needle in anybody's body and force you to take a vaccine, even if that vaccine could save lives. I believe that. I don't think that a civilized society, a government that runs a civilized society, should have the right to do that. However, I do think that the government, as the harbinger of a civilized society, a first world civilized society, does have a responsibility to protect its citizens from people that could put them in harm's way. And that includes people that choose to not get vaccinated. That choice does potentially put others' lives at risk. So I do think things like mask mandates, obviously social distancing, requiring vaccinations for employees, so requiring employers to require vaccines. Obviously public schools, we already do that. Churches, grocery stores, any public setting where there is a mass of people inside, yeah, I do think that there should be vaccine requirements for situations like that. I also think it's great that we are in a place now in society where we can pretty much do everything from home. If we're so privileged to have the ability financially to do that. You can have groceries delivered. You can have everything brought to your home. You can order it online. So there are ways around that for people that do choose to go unvaccinated. But I do believe that the government should not have the right to force a needle in anybody's body. So I will say that I'm consistent on the bodily autonomy. And that's about all I have to say on that. I just kind of wanted to share those views, so that there's no misunderstandings on if I am satirical sometimes. I usually do it because I'm trying to get a point across for the other side. So anyway, if anybody has any questions on that, I'll be more than happy to answer. If it's super complicated, I might make a video answer like I did before. I'm always happy to do that. And again, if anybody has any ideas for Easter eggs that I can use, obviously I don't wear a hat, so I don't have a thing to flip upside down. But I don't know. Thoughts on that would be appreciated for sure. And I hope everybody's having a great day. And thanks for checking on me once again. I will be catching up with you all again very soon. And remember, don't be afraid to question the consensus.